Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a gold Reinhardt player. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on, all that good stuff. So we're holding low ground corner, gold, I'll live. You have yourself an Anna and a Lucio, and a McCree and a Diva. Doesn't get much better than that, as a Reinhardt. Though, on ladder generally for Zarya, but still. Diva's great. Dead Lucio is not great, that's not your fault. Swing, swing, shield. Shield, drop shield. Just tuck on the corner. You don't need to feel overwhelmed. You can just play right here. That's all you got to do. You play right here. And if the Hanzo swings out like this, that's fine. You put your shield up and shout at your team to clear the Hanzo. And then once he's cleared, you can walk up. Or if he doesn't get cleared, you can walk up and you can swing into the group of these guys. Swing into these guys right here. You don't necessarily want to expose yourself to this, but if they're all going to come up here, you can get nice cleave swings. Hit the Anna and the Zarya. Hit the Anna and the Zen. Push back the Zarya when you swing at the Anna and the Zarya, and then get all three of them. That's what you're looking to do. You're going to trade out health in a very dangerous to them way. It's not perfect, but it's what you can do. It's one of the benefits of holding corners. If they try to wide swing like this, that's how you punish them. Good. Not amazing. Yeah, unfortunate. Red Anna's name. Ah. Hey, Tweaks. Hey, Blop. Wait. Yeah, so I don't like this because you're effectively joining Baby Diva. So, like, this cart isn't capped yet. It's not at all capped yet, so no problem there. And your teammates are back here. You won't get, like, everyone back in time, but given that she's down to Baby Diva, you're not going to keep her alive to remech. Just wait. Wait until you've got 3 people, and then your 4th person will be close, and then take this fight. Or take this fight as close to a 6 as possible. Taking this fight with 1.5 people is not worth it. And you can't even make it 2.5 people, because if you wait for your Doomfist to get where you are, your Diva will already be gone. So, like, just don't do this yet. You're trickling. Salt, spaghetti, and bubblegum on red. Yeah. It is a pretty good name. Okay, so again, you came out here and unsurprisingly, they just overwhelmed you. Because you came out here and it was just you and Baby Diva. And then when Baby Diva's gone, it's just you and Doomfist. Like, this was never going to work well. Instead of having 2 real fights for this, you got 1 real fight here, and they got your, what was it? McCree? Did you have a McCree before? They got your McCree, I think it was, and then, you weren't able to do enough here, and you lost the fight. But now instead of a real second fight, you just kind of went and staggered into this. And now they're going to get this cap without you having ever gotten another 5 or 6 person fight. And you were very unlikely to win with your 2 or 3. You didn't even have 3 people into their 5 or 6 people. You were very unlikely. You would have much preferred, rather than just throwing 2 or 3 people at a time at them, to throw 6 people at them when the cart was here. Or 5 people. You were eliminated by Salt. Hey, Salt gets some eliminations done.
Zarya, ready for duty.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Yeah, exactly. High blood pressure causing some eliminations. Why? So this happened.
Zarya, ready for duty.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Steer right. Steer right. Fine. Okay. You have to hard shield. You have to hard shield. Back out. Left. Your team is left. Your team support is over here. You can go back through here and then push back up, or you can go here with your shield up and back up. This is not a thing. Nope. Nope. Team can't help you if you go there. You need to put yourself in a place where them picking on you causes them to get picked on by your team. You gotta. This fight is happening. What are you doing? If you're not taking this fight, if you're writing this fight off, you need to still be back here. I have no idea why you're here. You cannot afford to not be in this fight. This is already down. Currently, this is a 4v6. You not being in it, you being in it would make it a 5v6, but even if you're in it, it's a 5v6, we're there at a pretty big disadvantage, your team. So, like, you need to be in this now before the situation gets worse, or you needed to be back here to not join this fight. And I'm good with either, but... Okay. Fire strike cancel? No. No! Forget the Genji. No, you're just failing on the fight. Okay. I don't know why you went for a fire strike there. Yeah, you could beat him. You could have beat him more convincingly with just swings in here. But hey, so be it. Gonna get the mini on the way.
I feel like a new man.
Don't bother. Don't bother. You don't have enough health to make this challenge meaningful. You're just trickling. You're just trickling. You're going to add 2 seconds to the cart. You're going to give them another 300 ult charge, plus your Lucio she'll be 500 ult charge in total, and you'll have delayed the cart for maybe 3 to 4 seconds. It's not worth it. Oh, Lucio. Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
The payload.
What are Ryan's best corners for defending point 2 area? This. You start up here and you hold this one, and then you drop and actually fight when you have to, or you drop and actually fight once you have enough of an advantage, but this is your best corner for the second point. You don't get 2 good stops on point 2. I mean, you'll sort of end up making another stop here sometimes, but you don't have a good second corner here. You can end up with control of this depending on how the cart goes, or you can end up on here depending on where the cart goes, but if you take a fight here and lose it, you're not generally going to get a fight here or here. You don't have a great ability. There's nowhere good for you to hold here. There's nowhere good for you to hold out here. You obviously can't hold this. Holding this doesn't work. This is just kind of not really workable as any spots for Ryan to hold. So you end up holding back here.
You have my thanks.
So here's the thing. You have to look at your delays. If you're trying to stop the point from capping, you have to look at your delays holistically. It was just him and Lucio versus the entire enemy team, and his entire team was in spawn. It wasn't, hey, someone else is on the way back. They're all in spawn. So can just him and Lucio stall long enough to get more people out so that it can turn into a chain stall? Because if you can chain stall and you throw like 6, 8, 10, whatever bodies at the cart, you can get some real time off the cart. Or if there's less than 6 people on the opposing team, you can also get some real time off the cart because you end up in situations where they can't eliminate you as quickly. But he was in a situation where he was not going to be able to stall very much. If you're going to give the opposing team 300 ult charge, you want to make sure that or 500 ult charge or 1,000 ult charge or whatever, you want to make sure that they already have ults. You're going to be giving them significantly more ult charge than that. So you're absolutely going to be filling their ults, but you accept that because you're filling their ults to get 2 minutes off the clock, a minute off the clock, 3 minutes off the clock, whatever the case may be, or you're at the end of the map where you absolutely have to do so because that's just the game. This is not the game. We know that this is not the game. We also know that there was like 4 minutes and 18 seconds left or something when he was dropped down here to touch this cart. He was not going to stop it. Him and Lucio were not going to stop the cart even until the next person could get here. So it was just how long can the two of them do it? Because the answer was not the 15 seconds for the next person to get here. That was not the answer. They weren't going to survive that long. I think we all know that they weren't going to survive that long. So it becomes a question of, can they pass the baton? Can they stall well enough to pass the baton to the next person? Are they in a situation where, okay, we can't stall long enough to pass the baton, but we've already been stalling them for a minute. We've already fed them a bunch of ult charge, so they already have their ults, or they're already using ults to clear us, in which case, hey, one more body at it doesn't matter because, again, the ult charge is already there. Or are we just feeding them ult charge, setting ourselves on a further delay so that our actual 6-stop is going to take longer over here? You're looking at this from a total value thing. It's not just like, oh, well, it's at a checkpoint so I can afford to throw my body at it. Well, maybe you get a little advantage because the door takes some time to open, which gives you more time to regroup here. But it's still going to set you back a little bit to go down there. It's going to feed them ult charge, which we don't love. We don't really have a chance of passing the baton to get next people, nor do we have a real chance, the two of us, of getting eliminations to allow us to potentially eventually turn this fight. This fight was never going to be turnable because we were never going to be able to pass it on to the next person in the stall game after Lucio. And we weren't going to, yeah, it gets to that. Push Santo. You can do it. I would have perfectly happy to walk out here and push them out with my hammer. They will leave if you push them out with your hammer. You could have sandwiched them nicely between you and Zarya, and then they'd ultimately go this way, which is where you want them. Nope. Nope. Interesting. No. Team fight. Team fight. Take a team fight. Okay. It's not perfect, but it'll work. You have yourself a team fight. Probably the second one of the map. Probably a little earlier than I'd have swung, but okay. Why? Like, he's a little far away. You catch him, but you catch him at the very end of your swing there. Like, an extra step probably would have been fine. You go for there, that's fine. And now we shield. Now, A, we see the nade in the air. We see the Ana. We've done our 2 swings and don't have armor. You have so many reasons to shield right now. So please put up your barrier. Generally, when you go, hey, I'm out of armor, that's a good rule of thumb threshold for it's time to put my barrier up. Maybe I retreat to cover, maybe I stay in range of the opposing Reinhardt, but let my supports do some work to get me back into armor before I'm interested in swinging. That is not a hard rule, but that can be a rule of thumb when you're learning to manage your health, your swing versus barrier aggression. Also, we always knew that Salt had some nice seasoning for our health pool, and we don't like that. Be it of the sleepy variety or of the no heal variety, we don't like that. So we wanted to have some awareness of her, some paying attention to her. If we've gone for 2 swings, that's plenty of greed, even if we weren't paying attention to her directly, to go, oh yeah, it's time to shield, and hopefully we'll catch and block one of her abilities. I actually do want to see why you didn't get that there. Okay, so you just lucked
payload
out.
is
Okay.
approaching its destination.
You get the nano, but you can't use the nano that effectively because you're purple. You're gonna do it anyway. Hard shield. No, you can't. You literally can't swing at this Reinhardt. You have. Oh, if any more damage hits you, fine.
Fire at will.
Okay, so you just didn't play defense.
0-3.
Like, you
Switching
simply
sides.
did not play the defensive route. In 3 points, you should get a minimum of 6 team fights. You got 2. There's an argument, I suppose, for you having 1 team fight on second rather, but you effectively got 2 team fights in 6 points here. Now, this is how this works. You should get a team fight on something or surrounding this with 6 people. You should get a team fight on something around this with 6 people. You should get a team fight about here with 6 people. And then you should just barely get a team fight here with 6 people. This one's a little iffy. Sometimes you'll lose this one depending on exactly how this one went. You'll get a team fight here with 6 people. And then you'll get a team fight here with 6 people. Overwatch is not a game of I got eliminated, my Anna got eliminated, my Hanzo got eliminated. I better come out of spawn, press that shift button, and the instant I'm back, regardless of the situation, I'm running in here and fighting again. It's not what it's about. Because what you'll see happens if you pay attention to the kill feed over here, if you press tab and see how many X's there are up here versus how many X's there are down here, you'll see, oh, this is a fight that I don't want to re-enter because I will immediately turn into another X because they have 5 people alive and we have 2. They have 4 people alive and we have 2. Whatever the case may be. I want to wait until we have something that's even or better before I take this fight again. Defense is not about, especially as Reinhardt, defense on payload is not about I'm going to touch the cart every single time I can. I'm going to be fighting at every moment I can. It's about organizing team fights. Because when you win a team fight, that takes like 30 seconds off the clock. And it sets you up to take more 30-second chunks off the clock, to take more minute chunks off the clock. Because once you set up for a team fight, you then go, oh, yes, this is a real fight. You have a, we'll call 50-50 chance of winning or losing a team fight. It's different. Ults matter. Positioning matters. Defense generally has better positions. You should actually have better than 50-50. But if you go back in, if you constantly stream in, if you go into a 2v5, a 3v5, whatever, what's going to happen is a 4v6, I don't care. If you go into these types of situations, you're going to have like, oh, we have actually a 15% chance of winning this fight. A 8% chance of winning this fight. A 2% chance of winning this fight. I do not want to get, instead of, how shall I put this? I would much rather get 6 50% chances, even though it's really better than 50% on defense, of winning a fight that could then turn into more wins, stops, etc. at that same stop spot, then get 9 some combination of these. So we'll call it 8% chances to stop the fight. The math on this is way, way better. Way better. Way better. Do this. Do this. This is how you play defense in Overwatch. Okay, I hope that made sense.
Ready for battle. Ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I live for a good fight.
Okay. We continue through here. Let's see if this works a little better for you on offense.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
Fine. Use the back of the cart. Your team's not going to be ready for that. Okay. You don't really need to be up here giving them shield. Like, you don't need to be up here where they can shoot at you. You can just play behind the cart until you're actually ready to push them. Like, you can push the cart from behind using the cart as cover until you're ready to go in. Which you should not be ready to go in. Okay. Swing. Trade swings with him. One more. Shield. Good. Shield. I'm surprised your shield did not go up there when you were backing up. Why are you fire striking? What do you have now? Mercy Zen? Okay. What? What? What?
I'll feel certain some
That was not okay. If you'd been trying to pin him onto this, maybe. You weren't going to get that pin, but if you'd been trying to pin him onto this, maybe. If you try to pin here or here, look where it puts you. It puts you where the entire enemy team can see you, and where your team can't really help you very well. Yes, you've got a Mercy and a Winston who supposedly have this sight line, but those are both short-range heroes. This doesn't... Mercy's sort of a short-range hero. This is bad. You don't want to put yourself surrounded by the enemy team. You don't want to ever put yourself in situations where you're surrounded by the enemy team. You want to chip away at the outside of the enemy team. You want to be like, hey, I push from here when my team can support me, when my team will have sightlines during the fight. Your team will not have sightlines during the fight if you go here or here. Which is what you know you're doing. Yeah.
I'll feel certain some
And now you're trying to get out, and you get all the enemies in front of you again, which helps. Except not all of them, because the soldier still got you from somewhere. Okay. You have to tuck hard right. Hard right. Get cover. Okay, drop your shield. Good. It's fine. And you can fight the Reinhardt here. No. Swing. Swing is so much better than charge and fire strike in so many situations. Swing is more reliable, and you have the ability to cancel out of a swing into a barrier at any time. Both of those things are so, so nice. Okay. You can fight him here. I don't love that. Why are you fire striking? Your fire strike should really only be your last hit on him. It takes too long. It's not better in terms of delivering damage per moment than your swings are. Unless you don't care about the unwind to it because you last hit him with it. Okay. Great. Sure. Turn around, turn around. Why? Why do you want to pin that? Like, why? Why are we pinning rather than just taking 2 steps forward and swinging our hammer at him? I'm perfectly happy to take my 6v2 against their Reinhardt. Or excuse me, it's just their Reinhardt now. My 6v1 against their Reinhardt. Like, I'm cool with that. I don't need to pin. This is just inviting a chance for things to go wrong. I pin and miss, and then I'm stunned. And because I'm stunned, maybe that gives him a chance to get back into this fight. Maybe he can hit a pin on someone because I don't have pin to ward him off. Like, you don't want to go for a higher risk move when you're already up in a 6v1. High risk moves. Good thing that who we connected with was your Winston, who we can't one-shot.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
the Fire Strike mostly used to finish off enemies that are out of range and very low? Well, the finisher Fire Strike is mostly used either to finish off enemies where the Fire Strike will be the final blow, or to hit enemies that are retreating and low health, or just retreating when other people aren't looking at you. Yes. Fire Strike also gets used, like it's not the only way Fire Strikes are used. You could totally be right here and go, I'm going to throw a Fire Strike at that Hanzo, and then close the angle. Like wind up my Fire Strike, peek, throw it, and then during the unwind animation of my Fire Strike, tuck back behind cover. That's the most common way to use Fire Strikes, what I described here. But absolutely, you can go swing, swing, cancel the second swing as soon as it's hit into a Fire Strike, and boom, we got the finish. Or swing, swing, and now he's running away from me, no one else is looking at me, and I hit my Fire Strike on him as he's retreating. Okay. You can fight spaghetti. Keep an eye out for it. You probably don't want to push into that. Okay. Shield up. Shield up. Back out. Interesting. Great. And you need to walk your way right back up to this corner so that you can hold this corner or threaten to swing at this big giant cleave group. No, don't just, no, you can't back away like this turned around without your shield up. This is not a thing. You can put your shield up and push into this. I suppose if you wanted to put your shield up, you could put your shield up, go around here, and then come out here. There's not really a situation where with your shield or without your shield, you wanted to go back to card here. There's not really. Like, I see the Doomfist, not your job. Not your job. I see the Reinhardt. Yeah, you could worry about matching him if you want, but honestly, these cleaves back here were perfectly fine with you. Perfectly fine with you. And I do not care that he has Shatter. Your team will figure it out, or they won't. Yes, I'm serious. It is not your job to block every Shatter as Reinhardt. It's actually it's your job to not get shattered as Reinhardt. So if your Reinhardt and the opposing Reinhardt shatters you, that's a problem. If your team gets shattered because you're playing in a different place, like you're back here cleaving through a bunch of stuff, not your problem. Your team should have cover, and they will learn this as they go up, and you might be going, but Temporal, that won't win me this game. Well, it will, because you'll have hit your giant shatter from this direction, or whatever the case may be. No! Winston's covering for you. This is only working because you have two main tanks. So, you don't want to go back and try to flush this type of thing out. If you retreat as Reinhardt to go back to your team, you actually go all the way back until you get all of the opponents in front of you again, and then you push through them. That's what you do as Reinhardt. You don't go when you're here and there's enemies that can shoot into your team. You don't turn around and go back and swing at them from this direction, because now there's enemies in front of you and enemies behind you. You stay here and enforce this place to not let these enemies in, to either threaten or eliminate these enemies with your hammer, or if you have to, you can do a little bit of shielding so that they can't get past you easily to get at your at your friendly team to help, because your team is busy dealing with the people that came in and dove on them. But hey, you're gonna get overwhelmed. So this is potentially fine in that, hey, you're down one, but the opponents are down one too, and you're looking at this and going, yes, I can take this fight. And that's good. You can take this fight. You can take this fight from right here. By taking this fight from here, you're exposing yourself to the entire enemy team. And there's no reason to do that. There's not. You can be right here. The pressure is on the opposing team to push up and stop the cart right now. Until the cart gets to here, the pressure is on them to push up and stop it. So you can just chill right here where they can't see you. And if they want to stop the cart, their Reinhardt's going to have to round the corner and put himself in the same situation that you've right now put yourself in, where he's exposed to your entire team, which is great. But you don't have to expose yourself to his team unless the cart gets to here, gets, another cart's distance further, and then you need to, because to move the cart again, you're going to have to. Shield, shield! What? Okay, you don't have armor. I did not like the swing. You immediately turn purple. This is predictably happening in these situations. Please, please shield. Please shield. You don't have armor and you're purple. No! No! Not only do you not shield, you go into Fire Strike. You can't cancel your way out of a Fire Strike. Fortunately, you're in a corner where you can tuck to at least hide the back portion of your Fire Strike, but you do not want to be here. You can be burst down too easily. Stealth has gotten some pretty great nades. Yeah, there's a consistent timing to them, but yeah. Fine. Why are you firing? You can do it, you can do it. There's no Fire Strike down the tunnel? Okay.
The payload has reached
Okay. Sure. Hey, Congaboom. Okay. So this looks awesome. The only question becomes, is your team ready to follow up on it? You're going to hit this giant shatter. This giant shatter. It's going to knock these people down. We love it. Except, this is where your team is. Are they really going to be able to follow up on this? And unfortunately, once these guys lie down, they'll be lying down at the top of a hill. It's going to be pretty tough for your team to follow up on it. Like, this seems really cool, but you have to be thinking about, can my team really follow up on this? Can my team really follow up on this? Well, if your Winston has leap, maybe he can. Yeah, okay. So it's going to be on you and Winston to get eliminations off of this shatter, and you have a fair amount of distance to cover before you can get any swings off on this shatter. So it's a little iffy as a shatter. You got to be thinking about, just like with the engagements themselves, you got to be thinking about, hey, is my team ready when I go up and contest this cart, when I go up to take this fight? Well, same thing. Using an ult is starting a fight. Winston will get it. Yep. Good. I don't know why you turned it that hard. Good. Fast strike, then charge through it. Yeah, that was going to have to be the play for him. Please tuck on cover. Please tuck on cover. Don't Rhine dance in the open. When I say tuck on cover, I just wanted you to go here and be holding this, or go here and be holding this. You can still be here so you have cover in front of you, or available to you to tuck behind. Okay. We talked quite a bit about your engagement timing issues or trying to constantly fight, trying to constantly be fighting, touching the point, etc. on defense. We didn't cover some other issues like your complete lack of attention, not complete, but your serious lack of attention to your health and when you need to go ahead and stop swinging and go into shield mode. Like you don't have a great grasp on that, and that's going to need some work. Again, a nice rule of thumb is going to be, hey, I don't have armor, but you're also going to want to pay attention for things like annonades, sleeps, what could bother you when you're going for swings. And then the other thing is just going to be you have to find better cover to use. Reinhardt is really about moving from cover to cover. You use your shield to get from one set of cover to another set of cover, or to get from the cover that you're at to opponents that you want to swing at, or maybe the opponents that you're swinging at back to cover. Those are all, that's how you play Reinhardt. You don't just swing at your opponents forever, or just stand in the open, or throw fire strikes at Genjis that still have deflect. Two minutes to 4 minutes, yeah. Okay. Don't go back. Don't go back. I know it's there, but you can call that it's there. You don't go clear it yourself. Better. Charge. Shield, shield. Great. A lot of arrows. This is better. Now you're holding the corner. And now you can pick, hey, am I going to hold this corner? Am I going to wait here in case they drop from high ground? Am I going to wait here? What are you going to do? Is there a hero with general movement that is not about moving from cover to cover? Yeah, Sombra. She's freaking invisible. I mean, Sombra, I sort of cheated with that example. I mean, like, everyone else is going to use cover because this is a shooter, but different people use cover differently. Like, Winston's version of cover might be more of the, yeah, there are. Like, Winston, for example, is perfectly happy to go up here, and you might go, hey, he's going up here and zapping people below him, and this is his cover. Yeah, that's true, and that is cover, and that is a thing. Fine, so be it. Like, that is a thing. This is his cover. But it would also be true if he were to go, hey, I'm going to jump up here to zap at a Hanzo and then drop. Or D.Va could do the same thing. I'm going to fight a McCree and then drop. And you could say that's the same as Reinhardt walking up and swinging on someone and then backing out to cover. And it is. It's exactly the same thing. So yeah, I suppose it's all cover to cover. That's what you're going to get in an FPS. But you've really got to think about it that way with Reinhardt, and Reinhardt is a hero that we often repeat it on, we often really hone in on it for, because Reinhardt's shield makes people believe that they always have cover. So it's true for everyone, but Reinhardt players really need to understand it, both because it's easy to form the wrong habits with him, but also because the whole team does move in some ways. Reinhardt sets the pace for when and where the team fights are happening, so it's important that he understands it, since he's controlling the team's movement. And in an organized play, he's often calling the team's rotations. Lucio, yes, Lucio can also do a fair amount. Lucio can say, I care less about cover, because Lucio has a second best option, which is I don't have cover, but I have a wall to ride on, which gives me significantly more movement options and better speed than other heroes, which can make him give him something that's not quite as good as cover, but is a close second. Okay, you're good.
Objective or assault.
Yep. Ball's gonna use cover frequently, just like Winston's gonna use cover. That's how you stage.
Just like old times.
Or how you get to a place where you can stage. Good, good. Those pins need work. Still not your job, but whatever. You can push up. You can push up to this cover. Unless you really think you're the only one holding it, you can push up to this cover. You can push up to this cover. Oh, there's a window. I better get in front of the window so that I'm in front of it so that my team isn't taking double damage. I can put my shield up in front of the window, and then, yes, it sucks to use my shield like that, but it's better than them shooting through the window and getting a damage multiplier. No, I do not need to block the Reaper. Either my Hanzo will hit the Reaper, or my McCree will. I simply can't do this. I cannot stand here, and if I do, I definitely need to take a step backwards. I cannot stand here with the BAP getting double damage on me. BAP appreciated the Ryan position, right?
Score 4-3.
Okay.
Switching sides.
Let's see how they do.
Initiating match. Ready.
Okay, we're continuing here. Reminder, if you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe right down there. Okay, let's see how we're doing here with our defense. You guys have to hold for 4 minutes. It's really going to make a difference if you, different from the first round, actually take team fights here rather than just running back to the cart like a lemming or running back to try to always be in the fight. Like, that's going to be the difference maker for whether you can win this or not.
Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Okay. Okay, shield up. You have to decide where you're going. Are you backing off? Okay. No, you can't fire strike here. If you're backing off, so be it, but you can't fire strike here. Okay, so you have to decide. Either you're taking this fight hard right now and accepting that you're going to lose, but you're going, hey, I'm going to maybe try to pin the Zarya. I'm going to maybe try to pin up here and swing at the Zarya. I'm going to walk up with my shield and swing. Like, any of that is fine, but I'm going to stop the cart from moving because this is our first team fight, and it has to happen right here. If I'm not taking this fight right now, I need to back all the way out and wait on my respawns and wait on my other teammates to get eliminated and then come back and take our 6v6 here. So I can either right now go up and take this fight, or I can leave. Which is it going to be? Nope. No. You can't play here. The cart is here. They're moving the cart. You are sacrificing your second fight right now. You are sacrificing your second fight so that you can have your 3v6? 3v6? The three of you are not going to hold out long enough for respawns to rejoin. If you're fighting right now, the cart needs to not be moving. If you're fighting right now, the cart needs to not be moving so that you get a second fight. If the cart's moving, you have to back up to second. No debate. This is how this works. Like, you're just sacrificing your second fight right now. And you're Rhine dancing in the open. Oh, look. You went down. Are you going to get back before the cart caps? Maybe, but if so, you're going to be entering like a 2v6 or 3v5. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Payload has
Congrats,
reached
you
the
only got
checkpoint.
one team fight on first point, and your Hanzo went down super late for that not second team fight that you had, so they're going to get from here to here under less pressure. Your Hanzo will be back in time for where you actually want to take the team fight, but you're going to have less pressure on the opponents on the way. You're going to have softened them up less between here and here where you actually take the fight. Don't you dare. Don't you. Oh no. Oh no. Not a place. Not a place. Not a place.
I'm out of here.
The best you can do!
You can swing. Your shield's not helping you. You're in a Winston bubble. Okay. Okay. Well, that was fun. You just have to understand how team fights work and how to play defense. Like, that is by far going to be your biggest flaw as a player, and it's going to be worth hundreds of points of
Your
SR
support
once you
has
understand it.
arrived.
There's other issues with your Rhymes, some other large issues, but that is like far and away the biggest issue. Clear the Discord, clear the Discord.
Freeze! Don't move!
Okay,
Victory.
so when it comes to your Reinhardt, first thing you have to understand, we're interested in team fights. Team fights are amazing. They're how you actually win the game. Your odds of winning a team fight are way better than your odds of I'm just going to trickle in. Every time you come back from spawn, before you walk into a fight, I want you to have pressed tabbed and looked at how many peoples are alive. How many people are alive? And or I wanted you to have looked through the wall, because you can see your teammates through the wall, and seen how many are there. And I want you, before you step into the fight, to know, to have thought for a second, should I actually be entering this fight or not? And if you don't have as many or more than the defenders, it's not quite true. If it's not a fight that you have a reasonable chance of winning, you don't want to enter it. If you choose to enter a fight and you entering the fight is going to make it a 3v4, especially before a checkpoint, that very well might be worth it. That might be just fine. And if you want to sort of reinforce to stall before a checkpoint, that can be worth it. We had a discussion around that earlier. But your general stuff should be you're looking to get the maximum number of defensive team fights. Team fights, not individual uptime. You're not looking to maximize your individual uptime. You're looking to maximize the amount of team fights that you get defensively. And obviously, each one team fight will let you get another team fight. Okay, so that's important. That is the single most important thing for you to work on. Please fix it. I want you to use like 5 to 15% of your brain power while playing the game to focus on that specifically. Before you re-enter any fight after you get eliminated, I want you to think about, you can walk back towards it, but before you actually enter the fight, open sightlines on them, go through the cave, the tunnel, whatever, I want you to actually think, wait, is this a fight that we actually have a reasonable chance of winning? If the answer is no, you just back off and wait until you have enough that it is a reasonable chance for you to win the fight again. And then you enter as a group, or you take the fresh fight as a group of 6. Okay. Second thing I want you to be aware of is I do want you to have more health awareness, shield awareness, whatever we want to call this. I want you to be more aware of where your health is. You get a little too swing happy. You're a little too happy to go, I'm swinging with no health. I'm swinging with no health. I'm swinging while purple. Anytime you're purple or discorded, it's basically automatic that you've got to put your barrier up and either get behind cover or hold your barrier up until it falls off. Purple will fall off after 4 seconds. Discord won't fall off unless Zen moves it, or unless you go behind cover and break line of sight against a real cover, not your shield, for 3 seconds. But anytime you get discorded or purpled, your shield should go up. That should basically be automatic. It's very rare that you break that rule. There's occasional situations where you break it, where it's like, hey, I'm purple with 400 health, but this Ryan has 60 health. Yes, I'm going to swing one more time and get him. Overwhelming majority of the time, either of those things happen to you, shield goes up. You also, generally, when you run out of armor, is about when you're going to start shielding. Again, that's a much less hard rule because there's times where you go, nope, I'm gonna spend my health all the way down to here because it lets me get the Reinhardt elimination, or I have to do it for XYZ reason. Like there's good reasons to spend more health than your armor, but the overwhelming majority of the time, if you're just tank trading, if you're just trading swings back and forth, it should be, hey, I'm willing to spend about my armor and then stop. Or it might be less than that. If there's a ton of burst on the other team, it might be I'm not willing to swing unless I have 400 health. That's fine. That'll happen. But you want to generally have a feel for, hey, I have more awareness of my health than you currently have. And that impacts whether I'm swinging or not. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is you had times when you were better at this, but we need better positioning. We need you to be doing a little bit more in terms of going from one set of cover to another set of cover. So I'm here and I go up to here. And then maybe there's enemies here and I go up to the enemies and I swing at them. Maybe I tank trade a bit and then maybe I go back to cover. Or maybe I shield up and get healed. Or maybe I keep swinging and get the elimination. Depends on the situation. But we're going from cover to cover. We're not dancing around in the open and we're not charging back to go help our team. We're going to freaking cover and enforcing our corner. So those are the 3 things I want you to work on, and I do want you to work on them in that order, as I gave them to you from a most important to least important standpoint for leveling up your play. There's more we could have gone into, like we could spend more time on please don't go back like that to deal with threats in the back line, but I'm not going to do it right now. We could talk more about your fire strikes, but I'm not going to do it right. Anyway, too many things. So again, we want you to work on understanding when to take team fights. We want you to work on health management and being aware of how much health you have when you shield. And then we want you to work on where you're going, how you're getting there. Work on those 3 things one at a time. Don't try to do them all at once. You'll overwhelm yourself. Don't try to do the other stuff I pointed out as 1 or 2 offs in this video. You'll overwhelm yourself. Do one thing at a time. If you start playing a little worse to start because you're focused on getting better at something, that's fine. You'll get better at it eventually as long as you stay focused on it, and then you'll start to get better, and then you can start focusing on the next thing, and then you get better, and then you focus on the next thing, and then you get better, and then what do you know, you're above your starting point. That's how you're looking to do this. That's how you're looking to most quickly get better at Overwatch. Most quickly. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. If people have questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat now. If anyone who is watching this as a video rather than live has questions, the best way to ask me questions is to ask them live here so that we can interact, so that we can do a quick back and forth. And you can figure out when I'm live by joining my Discord in the description below, going to the Get Notifications channel, and reacting to get the Watcher role. If you have the Watcher role, you will get Discord pings when I go live, and that's much more reliable than notifications. Good way to get your questions answered if you want to catch me live. For everyone else, if you're just enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate that. And with that, let's check out questions. BAP appreciated the Ryan positioning, and option C. Yes, option C was in response to my first point discussion of the 2 reasonable moves he could make. It's a big yikes. 8L5 storm arrows. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. Yeah. If Zen always discords you, you should always retreat and undiscord. Yeah, the overwhelming majority of the time. It is an acceptable contribution to go, hey, I have been discorded. My contribution to this team, as I've been discorded here, is I will sit behind cover and not let this discord do any work. It's not perfect, but it's totally acceptable. It is better than getting yourself blown up and letting them have their 6v5 and getting to do more things with their Discord. Discord is that good that it is worth dragging Discord almost every time. Any more VODs today? More VODs today. I'll have more uploads today. I'll probably do more VODs today, but I'm going into sessions for the next couple hours. So I don't know when I'll stream again, but I will do more VODs today, yes. When do you charge? You can countercharge. You can charge to cancel certain things that can be stunned. You can charge to surprise people when you're coming in from a bit of an angle occasionally. You can charge to catch a primaling Winston. You can charge to catch a Winston that is landing from a leap that was too high. There's times to charge, don't get me wrong. They're rarer than most Rhine players think, but there's times to charge. So one question, near the end you made a comment at the gas station about he needed to pick to fight or not fight, and as he was backing up and used fire striking, you said, no, don't do that. Yes. Is a general rule of thumb when I'm moving back as Reinhardt, I shouldn't be fire striking. I should only be doing it essentially when I have made the decision we are fighting. No. The reason I didn't want him to fire strike is he was fire striking probably. I don't remember it perfectly. He was probably fire striking too much in the open. He probably had like 300 health or whatever, and it was probably in the open backing up, and he threw out a fire strike. And that risked him getting eliminated because he can't put his shield up or do anything like that. The fire strike makes sense as a finisher. The fire strike makes sense when he has cover, but if he's backing up, he probably didn't have cover available to him. That was probably him trying to split the difference between retreating and fighting, and that's not what I wanted. Just leaving himself too exposed to too much enemy fire. Exactly. Okay, I think that's going to do it. I don't see anything else. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. Remember, if you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.